Good morning, friends. You've heard it before. You can't do it. You're not good enough, that dream. It's impossible, Doc. But I'm here to tell you something. They don't get to decide your future. They don't know your potential. And they certainly don't know your heart. They say you'll fail. Prove them wrong that they doubt you. Prove them wrong that they say you're too small, too big, too weak, too inexperienced. Prove them wrong that this life doesn't hand out guarantees. Nobody's going to pave the road for you. No one's going to give you the easy route. But that's all right, because you're built for the tough roads. And the tougher the road, the stronger you become. They're counting you out right now. Let them. That's just fuel for your fire. Use it. Every time they say you can't, turn it into the reason you must. Success isn't overnight. It's not handed to you. It's earned through sweat, through pain, through every sleepless night when you wanted to give up, but you didn't. You kept going. You fought back. Prove them wrong that your dreams belong to you, not to the people standing on the sidelines criticizing your every move, not to those who doubt you because they never had the courage to chase their own dreams. You've got the vision. You've got the strength. Now let your actions speak louder than their words. The world will tell you what you can't do. Show them what you will do. You're going to have people in your life who tell you what you can't do. They'll tell you you're not good enough, not smart enough, not strong enough. They'll see your dreams and they'll try to shrink them down to match their own limited vision. But here's the truth: their doubts, their limitations, their fears, they have nothing to do with you. Their opinions are just that, opinions. They aren't facts. They aren't facts. They aren't laws. And they certainly aren't your destiny. You have to understand that when people tell you no, what they're really saying is they can't see it. They can't imagine it. But that's their problem, not yours. See, the world is full of people who gave up on their dreams. They settled. They stopped pushing. And now they look at someone like you, someone with drive, with ambition, and they don't know what to do with that. It makes them uncomfortable. It reminds them of what they didn't do, what they didn't achieve. And rather than lifting you up, they try to pull you down to their level. But you can't let that happen. You can't let their doubts seep into your mind. When someone tells you that you can't do something, don't argue with them. Don't waste your energy trying to convince them otherwise. Just keep moving forward. Because in the end, it's not about proving them wrong with your words. It's about proving them wrong with your actions, with your results. Doubt is like noise. It's distracting, it's constant, but it's not permanent. You have the power to tune it out. You have the ability to rise above it. Focus on your path, your goals, your vision. And when the doubters come, and they will stand tall, keep your head high and keep walking. Because their doubts are just shadows. They disappear the moment you step into your light. Negativity is going to come at you from all sides. It's a part of life, a part of the journey. People are going to tell you what's wrong with your plans, what's wrong with you. They'll try to poke holes in your dreams, bring you down, and make you question everything. And you've got two choices. When that happens, you can let it stop you, or you can turn it into fuel. See, most people let negativity drain them. They take it personally. They let it sit in their mind and poison their confidence, their belief in themselves. But you've got to take that negativity and flip it. Use it as energy to push you forward. When they tell you you're not good enough, let that fuel your fire. Let that be the reason you wake up earlier, work harder, stay focused longer. Negativity is nothing but a challenge in disguise. It's daring you to prove it wrong. It's testing how bad you really want it. If it were easy, everyone would do it. If it was simple, everyone would succeed. But success isn't for everyone, because not everyone knows how to take the punches, take the hits, and keep moving forward. When you hear someone criticize you, let it remind you that you're on the right path. No one criticizes someone who's not doing anything. They criticize the ones who are pushing boundaries, the ones making moves, the ones they're secretly afraid of. Take that negativity and let it sharpen you. Let it make you stronger. You've got something to prove, not to them, but to yourself. Every no is just another reason to say yes to yourself, to your dream, to your potential. The thing about negativity is it only has power if you give it power. It's like a match. You can let it burn you, or you can use it to light the fire in your soul. It's up to you. Are you going to let the doubters, the haters, the critics slow you down, or are you going to let them drive you forward? Because I promise you this, if you turn that negativity into fuel, there's nothing that can stop you. Let every insult, every doubt, every rejection feed your hunger. Let it make you relentless. Because when you turn negativity into fuel, you don't just survive, you thrive. You rise above, you succeed. And at the end of the day, nothing feels better than proving them wrong. Everybody wants to succeed, but not everybody is willing to pay the price. Success isn't some lottery you win, it's earned. And let me tell you, it's not going to come easy. There are no shortcuts, no quick fixes. It's hard work, it's sacrifice, it's pushing yourself every single day, even when you're tired, even when nobody's watching. See, people love to admire success from a distance. They see the glory, the fame, the achievements, but they don't see the grind. They don't see the early mornings, the late nights, the failures, the setbacks. They don't see what you had to give up to get there. But here's the truth. If you want to be successful, you've got to be willing to do the work that others won't. You've got to be willing to give up the things that others aren't willing to sacrifice. Success demands focus. It demands discipline. It's going to ask for your time, your energy, your comfort. You might have to give up that night out, miss that party, skip that vacation. You'll lose some sleep. You'll lose some sleep. You'll lose some friends along the way. That's the cost. And if you're not willing to pay that price, then you've got to ask yourself, how bad do you really want it? Hard work is the foundation. It's waking up early when you'd rather stay in bed. It's staying late when everyone else has gone home. It's doing the extra reps, putting in the extra hours, studying when nobody's there to pat you on the back. And it's not just one day. It's every day. It's building that momentum little by little, step by step, until you look back and realize how far you've come. And the sacrifices, they aren't just about what you give up, they're about what you gain. You sacrifice comfort now to build something bigger. You sacrifice pleasure now to create a life that's worth living later. The people who are coasting today, who are living easy, they won't understand your grind. They'll wonder why you're working so hard. But they'll understand later when they see where you're standing and realize they stayed in the same place. Sacrifice doesn't mean losing, it means investing. Every drop of sweat, every hour spent grinding, every opportunity you pass up for the sake of your goal, it all adds up. It builds you, it strengthens you. You get out what you put in and nothing more. If you want extraordinary results, you've got to be willing to put in extraordinary effort. The world isn't going to hand you success. It's not going to knock on your door. You've got to go out and get it. You've got to fight for it every single day. And yes, it's going to be hard, but the reward, the feeling of knowing that you earned every single bit of what you have, that's priceless. So if you want success, don't just talk about it, work for it. Sacrifice for it. And watch how the world shifts in your favor when you give it everything you've got. Failure is part of the game. It's not something to avoid. It's something you've got to face head on. Because let me tell you, there's no straight line to success. You're going to fall. You're going to stumble. You're going to mess up, probably more than once. But that's not the end of your story. It's just part of the process. It's part of your journey. The truth is, most people are scared of failure. They treat it like it's the worst thing that can happen. But let me ask you, how are you supposed to grow if you're too afraid to make a mistake? How are you supposed to learn if you never step out of your comfort zone? Failure isn't something to run from, it's something to embrace. It's a teacher. Every time you fail, you get a lesson. You learn what doesn't work, you learn what needs to be improved, and most importantly, you learn about yourself. When you fail, that's when you're tested. That's when you find out who you really are. It's easy to keep going when everything's working out, when the road is smooth. But when things fall apart, when nothing is going your way, that's when you've got to dig deep. That's when you've got to decide if you're going to let failure define you or if you're going to rise above it. Understand this failure is not a dead end. It's not a wall blocking your path. It's a detour. It's a chance to adjust, to recalibrate, to come back stronger. You've got to change the way you look at failure. It's not a sign that you should quit. It's a sign that you're trying, that you're pushing yourself. And that's how you grow. That's how you get better. Every great success story is filled with failure. Look at anyone who's made it to the top, and I guarantee you, they've got a long list of things that went wrong before they got it right. The difference between them and everybody else is simple. They didn't give up when they failed. They didn't let it stop them. They didn't let it break them. They learned from it, they adjusted, and they kept going. Failure is not final unless you quit. It's not permanent unless you stop trying. Every time you fall down, you have the opportunity to get back up. And each time you do, you're stronger, smarter, more prepared than you were before. That's the power of failure. It builds resilience. It toughens you up. It gives you the grit you need to face whatever comes next. So don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Failure is just proof that you're out there, that you're taking risks, that you're not playing it safe. And those who play it safe, they never grow, they never stretch, they never reach their full potential. Embrace failure. Accept it as part of the journey, part of your story. Because every time you fall and get back up, you're one step closer to where you're meant to be. The only real failure is giving up. Everything else, that's just the road you take to success. Talk is cheap. You can say all the right things, make all the promises in the world, but at the end of the day, words alone don't get you anywhere. Anybody can talk a big game, but very few can back it up. The real power, the real proof of who you are and what you're capable of comes through your actions. You want respect? You want success? You want to make an impact? Then stop talking about it and start doing something about it. Actions speak louder than words always. You don't need to announce your plans to the world. You don't need to defend yourself when people doubt you. You don't need to explain your vision to everyone who questions you. Let your results do the talking. When you put in the work, when you grind day after day, people will notice. They might not see it at first. They might doubt you, question you, maybe even laugh at you behind your back. But that's okay. Because the truth is, while they're talking, you're working. And when the results show up, when you start achieving what they said you couldn't, then the conversation changes. See, words fade. They disappear as quickly as they're spoken. But actions, they leave a mark. They create momentum. You build a foundation with your actions. You build trust, credibility, and reputation, not by what you say, but by what you do consistently over time. That's the difference between those who make noise and those who make progress. People are always watching, whether you know it or not. And they'll measure you not by what you say, but by what you've done. You don't have to shout about your success. Success speaks for itself. It's the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you've earned your place, that you've put in the work, that no one can take away what you've built. It's easy to make excuses to explain why you're not where you want to be yet. But excuses are just distractions. Don't waste your breath. Instead, put your head down and work. Every step forward, every little victory, every effort you put in, it adds up. People will see the grind, they'll see the discipline, they'll see the results, and when they do, the words won't matter anymore. You don't need to prove anything with your mouth. Prove it with your effort, with your dedication, with your hustle. Show them through your actions that you're serious, that you're committed, that nothing is going to stop you from reaching your goal. Let your actions set the tone. Let them create the legacy. Because at the end of the day, people will forget what you said, but they will never forget what you did. Your dreams are yours, nobody else's. Nobody else can see them like you do. Nobody else can feel the fire inside you pushing you toward them. But here's the thing, the moment you start chasing your dreams, the critics are going to show up. They're going to have opinions. They're going to have doubts. They're going to tell you all the reasons why your dream is too big, too bold, too unrealistic. And if you're not careful, you might start believing them. But here's the truth: those critics don't own your dreams, you do. You've got to understand that people will always have something to say. There will always be someone telling you to play it safe, to stay in your lane, to stick to what's realistic, but their opinions aren't rooted in your potential. Their opinions are rooted in their own fear, their own limitations. They don't know what you're capable of because they haven't walked in your shoes. They don't know your vision, your purpose, or what's driving you. So why should their opinion matter? Why should their doubt have any weight? The problem is we let too many voices get in our heads. We let the noise distract us, shake us, make us question our own path. But those voices, they don't pay your bills. They don't live with your dreams in the dead of night. And they won't live with the regret if you give up on those dreams because of their doubts. You've got to block out the critics, drown out the noise, because the only voice that truly matters is your own. The one that tells you to keep going when things get tough. The one that believes in you when nobody else does. That's the voice you listen to. That's the opinion that counts. You see, your dreams weren't meant to be understood by everyone. They weren't meant to fit into the small, comfortable boxes that others want to put you in. Your dreams are big and they're yours for a reason. They came to you because you're the one who's meant to bring them to life. And nobody has the right to take that away from you. Not a critic, not a doubter, not even your own fear. And here's something else to remember: most critics don't do much. They talk, they judge, they stand on the sidelines and critique the ones in the game. But they're not the ones putting in the work. They're not the ones sweating, sacrificing, struggling to turn a vision into reality. So why should their opinions mean anything to you? They haven't done what you're trying to do. They haven't walked your path. Your responsibility is not to prove them wrong. It's to prove yourself right. You owe it to yourself, to your dreams, to the sacrifices you've already made to keep pushing forward. Own your dreams, protect them, nurture them. Because the only thing worse than failing is never trying, because you let someone else's opinion stop you. So let the critics talk, let them doubt. Let them laugh if they want to. But you stay focused, you stay committed. Their opinions will fade away, their doubts will disappear. But your dreams, if you hold on to them, if you stay true to them, they'll become your reality. And then the critics will be the ones standing there speechless while you're living the life they never believed was possible. Own your dreams. Forget the critics. Because when you succeed, their opinions won't matter. And when you look back, the only thing you'll regret is not believing in yourself sooner. People will doubt you. That's a given. They'll look at your goals, your vision, and say, it's impossible. They'll question your ability, your potential, your determination. Some of them might even want to see you fail because your ambition scares them. But here's the truth: you don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't owe them an argument. You don't owe them anything except one thing: results. You see, talk is cheap. Doubts are cheap. Anybody can stand on the sidelines and tell you what you can't do. Anybody can say you'll never make it, but that doesn't mean a thing until the results show up. When you let your results speak for you, that's when the conversation changes. That's when the noise of the doubters fades into the background. Results, real, tangible success, are louder than any word, stronger than any doubt. But here's the thing: proving them wrong doesn't come from revenge. It's not about getting back at them, not about rubbing it in their faces. It's about you staying focused, staying committed to your vision, and letting the results speak for themselves. Your success isn't about shutting up the critics. It's about fulfilling your own potential. It's about knowing deep down that you did what you set out to do, no matter who said you couldn't. Every time someone tells you that you can't, don't waste your energy trying to convince them otherwise. Don't argue. Don't explain yourself. Let them think what they want to think. And while they're busy doubting you, you get busy working. Put your head down and stay in the grind. Every step you take forward, every small victory, every bit of progress you make is another piece of evidence that they don't know what they're talking about. You don't need to shout back at them. You don't need to make a scene. Just let your results show up. Show them through your achievements, through the quiet persistence, through the hard work that never lets up. When the time comes, when the results are undeniable, that's when they'll realize their words were empty. And by then, you won't even need to say, "I told you so," because the proof will be in front of them. There's power in results. You can talk all you want about your dreams, your plans, your hustle, but at the end of the day, people respect what they see. They respect results. They respect someone who delivers, who doesn't just promise but shows up day in and day out and gets the job done. That's how you change the narrative. That's how you turn doubters into believers, not by arguing, but by showing them what you're capable of. When they say you can't, smile, keep quiet, and get to work. Keep grinding, keep pushing, keep doing the work that they don't see. And when the results come, they'll speak for themselves. Those same people who said you couldn't will look at you differently. They'll realize they were wrong, and they'll have nothing left to say. Because you didn't just prove them wrong, you proved yourself right. So the next time someone tells you that you can't do it, don't waste a second getting upset or defensive. Let it fuel you. Let it push you to work even harder. And remember, the best way to silence your critics is not with words, but with undeniable success. Results don't need explanation. They don't need validation. They speak for themselves. Prove them wrong with results and watch how quickly their doubts turn into silence.